So far, year to date, the market has transacted about 2.3 billion euros, which is actually more than this time last year, 2019. It's very much a result of a number of large transactions, notably the sale of 50% of the Sierra Prime fund, which includes the 4 prime shopping centers of Sonae and APG in Portugal and 2 in Spain. The Portuguese portion was about 800 million, so that's a very large transaction for Portuguese standards. Then there is the sale of Lagoas Park, the office park to the west of Lisbon. That amounts to about 420 million euros. And then there was a sale of the hotels chain called Real, which was acquired by a local operator, and that was about 300 million. So together, these account for about 60% of the total investment volume so far. That explains why we are so, actually quite ahead of 2019. To be honest, until the end of the year, we'll probably see a number which is lower than last year's. We're looking at something of the order of 2.7, 2.8 billion euros, and that compares to 3.3 in 2019. So it's less, but it's not dramatically less than last year. The current investors are, but it's as usual, it's a mix of certainly the core investors. They're very much back, very much like to do things. The German funds, some of the Portuguese funds are very active. So clearly the core investors are keen to apply more capital. The liquidity in the market, of course, is still very abundant. So there's certainly no lack of liquidity, but it's probably steering towards a more lesser risky quality assets. Looking more therefore at office buildings, very much logistics. There's a lot of interest in logistics, and there's a lot of interest in PRS, which is the private rented sector, of which, of course, in Portugal there are very few assets to be bought because they haven't actually been produced. But it's certainly something that we think will accelerate in the current circumstances. There will be more developments conceived to serve this market, which is actually in Europe, it's the second highest volumes in terms of asset classes in the year so far.